Good evening and welcome to my S&P 500 recap and plan ahead for Thursday and Friday. A lot of earnings coming out this evening, so it should push SPY up. Actually, I'll pull up the after hours chart here real quick. We are now up about a little over a dollar, almost $1.50 here after the close. So nice little move, decent earnings reports on a few names. Now anyways, to the trades I have taken here so far this week. First of all, I got into 11 May 266 calls up here on Monday at 380. Goal was for that to be a swing play. As you can see, it did hold the levels I was looking for per my previous video. The 8 and 21 were still holding strong. It pierced the low, came back above, so looked like a decent trade. It just simply failed. Into the next day, a nice gap up. Didn't quite make it all the way up to the 50 SMA up here and started to sell off. I was a little bit stubborn, greedy, whatever the case may be, and just left my stop just about break even, and it triggered me out at 381. I did leave some cash on the table because I think those hit about 460, 475, something like that. So that's my fault, but it was part of my plan. I was looking for a much bigger move, at least up here to the top of this pattern play, maybe even 270. So anyways, those are my first sell levels that I was looking for. Just simply trade did not work out. So on to the next play on Tuesday. I took one shot down here at the lows. Looked like price action had come down close enough to the 200 SMA. Had a significant amount of volume. Got into 264 calls here for May 4th at 242. Stop loss was at 215 and triggered me out here on this initial push down. Now, I even said in the trade crew chat room, once this candle did set up, it would be funny if the market makers push it down to have one more flush, actually touch the 200 and maybe even flush through it and come back above to reclaim it for a move higher. And it's exactly, well, almost exactly what happened and caught me on the wrong side of the trade. Now, anyways, towards the end of the day on Tuesday, more of a revenge trade for me, which was a bad idea. As a 265 weekly calls, I got in at 82. Price action did sell off pretty hard here today on the open. Did not close out of anxiety or fear. Just wanted to hold it. It was a lotto play, so it was not a huge position. I was prepared to take a fairly substantial loss on there. It did reclaim the level, came back up to the open, got rejected, and at that point I did close out at 77. So at least managed to not take a huge loss there. And price action did climb up higher, so I could have possibly ended up taking a profit on there if I would have been a little bit more patient. But price action has been very choppy lately and not really developing any trends for now. So I just got to manage what I do have and look for potential opportunities. Speaking of opportunities, we had a nice little break above this 263 level here. I did trigger into another swing play here, 15 June, 280 calls at 49. Decent size here. Stop loss is going to be just below the 200 SMA. Looking for a move at least up to the top of this pattern, maybe even test it and break through it. If it does, 280 would be the next level. Now I'm hoping that I gave myself enough time on these options to where if it does not even get into the money, they do turn very profitable. Now on to what I'm looking for on Thursday. As you can see, I have a couple of notes here. I may or may not add into the position that I am in. Just simply want to sit and manage it. I'm going to look at these levels here, 266 area for consolidation, maybe a little bit of resistance. If it does have an overall rejection there, which it might because this is the previous breakdown level as well as these moving averages, I will close out the position. However, I kind of expect it just to chop around here a little bit, maybe pull back in, test this high, and then come back up, eventually getting to the 50 SMA up here around 269. At that point, I will consider taking my profits, whatever is there, and moving on to the next trade. I did go out of the money, made sure I had a lot of time on there just to hopefully capture some of these moves. Maybe some of these earnings are positive enough to actually push stocks, individual names up higher and lift the S&P 500. So fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Join us in the Trade Crew chat room. Have a good evening and good luck.